In the vast palace of Zeno-sama, a meeting of utmost importance was taking shape. Seated around an immense luminous table, the angels and gods of destruction from the participating universes, with the exception of Universe 7, were engaged in intense discussion. Zeno-sama himself, with his two bodies, observed everything with a mix of curiosity and childlike impatience, while the Grand Priest presided over the debate. The agenda was clear: the abrupt evolution of Universe 7 during and after the Tournament of Power. The impressive demonstrations of strength had left the other universes on high alert, and many feared the consequences this could bring to future inter-universal events. "This is simply unacceptable," roared Sidra, the god of destruction of Universe 9, slamming his fist on the table. "How can we compete when Universe 7 has warriors who surpass our own limits?" "I agree," affirmed Mosco, the robotic god of destruction of Universe 3, with Campari translating his words. Warriors like Goku and Vegeta not only achieved incredible new forms but also brought threats like Black Frieza into the mix. The Grand Priest raised his hand, calling for silence. "Let us maintain order. Each universe will have its turn to present its points. Let us begin with Universe 11. Belmod, the god of destruction of Universe 11, leaned forward, his expression calm yet calculated. "Jiren is, indeed, an anomaly," admitted Belmod. "But he is the result of relentless hard work and training. We must not forget that the Tournament of Power was designed to showcase the strongest, and it fulfilled its purpose. However, I acknowledge that the level Universe 7 has reached is concerning. Goku with his Ultra Instinct, Vegeta mastering Ultra Ego, and now Gohan with his Beast form? They are far beyond what anyone could have anticipated." Lakir, from Universe 8, interjected. "And what about Black Frieza? This being is an aberration that should not exist. A warrior capable of defeating Goku and Vegeta simultaneously? That is an affront to universal balance." Whis, who was present as an impartial observer, spoke with a serene smile. "Black Frieza, like any other being, achieved his level on his own. He is neither an artificial creation nor was he granted any special favor. His power is the result of his own ambitions and efforts." Champa, from Universe 6, scoffed. "It's easy for you to say, Whis. Your universe seems to be turning into a training ground for gods. And Broly? A scion who didn't even participate in the Tournament of Power yet can rival any one of us? Broly is still a rough diamond," Whis explained. "But his potential is, indeed, impressive. However, he remains isolated, focused on controlling his energy." The tone of the meeting grew more tense. Many gods of destruction were clearly unsettled by the exponential growth of Universe 7. The fear was understandable. If another Tournament of Power were to be held, the chance of defeat would be overwhelming. The Grand Priest, perceiving the direction of the debate, intervened. "We must remember that the evolution of any universe is natural. Nevertheless, the concerns raised are valid. It may be necessary to reassess the rules and conditions for future tournaments." "Reassess? That's not enough," shouted Rumshi, from Universe 10. "We must impose restrictions on Universe 7. They already have too many advantages." Zeno-sama finally raised his voice, interrupting the discussion with his simple and childlike manner. "Everyone is arguing, and that's boring. We like the Tournament of Power because it was fun. If there's another one, we want it to be even more fun." The gods immediately fell silent. Zeno's opinion was absolute, and defying him was unthinkable. The Grand Priest smiled discreetly and resumed speaking. "Since Zeno-sama wishes for the next event to be even more exciting, we can consider adjustments that level the playing field without compromising the competitive spirit." Many of the gods were still dissatisfied, but Zeno's presence forced them to moderate their protests. Then Iwan, from Universe 1, one of the universes exempted from participating in the original Tournament of Power, stood and spoke calmly. "Perhaps the focus should be on the development of all universes. If Universe 7 has managed to advance so far, this should not be seen as a threat but as an incentive for others to evolve as well." These words caused murmurs among those present. there was an uncomfortable truth in them. While many universes had grown complacent, Universe 7 faced constant crises and challenges, forcing its warriors to surpass their limits. Belmod let out a heavy sigh. Even so, we cannot ignore the impact warriors like Jiren and the fighters of Universe 7 have caused. If a new tournament is called, we need guarantees that everyone will have a fair chance. The Grand Priest nodded. Then I propose that each universe receive training supervised by their respective angels. Furthermore, the next event will include challenges that test more than just raw strength. Intelligence, teamwork, and strategy will also be critical. The murmurs of approval grew, although some still seemed reluctant. The suggestion of universal training was a diplomatic solution but would require time and dedication. Finally, the Grand Priest concluded the meeting with a warning. Let this debate serve as a reminder that the balance of the universes is everyone's responsibility. No universe should grow complacent. And remember, the next tournament of power will be even more challenging because that is what Zeno-sama desires. With those words, the gods and angels dispersed, many still reflecting on what had been discussed. Universe 7, even in its absence, remained at the center of the concerns. Meanwhile, Goku and his companions continued their training, unaware of the intrigues their achievements had sparked across the multiverse. After the meeting ended, Goku was summoned to Zeno-sama's palace, where Whis and the Grand Priest, Daishinkan, were waiting to share the news about the debates held among the gods of destruction and angels. The Scion arrived with his usual carefree smile, curious about why he had been called. "So, what's going on?" Goku asked, crossing his arms and looking directly at Whis. The angel gave a slight smile, but there was a trace of concern in his expression. "Goku, the Grand Priest and I have been discussing the impact of Universe 7's growth on the interuniversal balance. During the meeting, many gods expressed fear and dissatisfaction, viewing your progress and that of your companions as a direct threat." Goku scratched his head, puzzled. "But isn't that a good thing? I mean, the stronger we get, the more challenging it is for everyone, right?" Daishinkan intervened, his posture impeccably composed. "While your argument has merit, son Goku, the fear of your peers from other universes is understandable. The evolution of you, Vegeta, Gohan, and even Broly has surpassed limits that many considered unattainable. Not to mention Black Frieza, whose presence is deeply unsettling for most universes. So, what do you want me to do?" Goku asked, already feeling the excitement of a new challenge. Whis shook his head, his concern more evident now. "We don't want you to do anything rash, Goku. But there's something you need to know." During the meeting, it became clear that some gods of destruction are starting to consider measures to limit Universe 7's power, and some angels may be inclined to assist them. "Angels?" Goku's eyes widened. "Are you saying they might attack Universe 7? Whis sighed. "We cannot confirm that, but it's a possibility. In the past, Beerus and Champa organized a tournament without Zeno-sama's knowledge, proving that even we can act beyond his direct supervision." Daishinkan, however, spoke with a firm tone. "Whis, we must not jump to conclusions. Until there is concrete evidence, we should avoid baseless suspicions. Nevertheless, keep me informed about any unusual behavior from your siblings." As they left the palace, Whis approached Goku and revealed something even more surprising. "Goku, there's something only I and Daishinkan know. During the Tournament of Power, when Android 17 wished for the restoration of the erased universes, one of the universes previously destroyed by Zeno-sama was accidentally revived. This is Universe 17, which had been erased from existence for millennia." Goku was stunned. "Wait. So there's another universe with strong warriors? Who's the god of destruction there?" Whis smiled faintly, though his tone was serious. "The god of destruction of Universe 17 is called Anubis, and his accompanying angel is Mead. Anubis has shown interest in meeting you, specifically because of your Ultra Instinct. However, Daishinkan has requested that this be kept a secret, as even Zeno-sama is unaware of the restored existence of this universe. Goku was incredulous. Not even Zeno-sama? Does that mean he doesn't know everything? Precisely, Whis replied. While Zeno-sama is incredibly powerful, he is not omniscient. That's why we must tread carefully. I will take you to Universe 17 to meet Anubis and Mead, but I ask that you keep this absolutely confidential. Excited and curious, Goku readily agreed. In an instant, Whis transported him to the unknown Universe 17. The scene that greeted them was astonishing: vast landscapes of golden deserts and purple skies, a world emanating powerful energy. "So you're the scion who achieved Ultra Instinct," said Anubis, his deep voice echoing like thunder. "I've heard much about you, Goku. But to confirm if you're truly worthy of that title, I must test you." Mead observed silently, though a glint of interest sparkled in her eyes as Anubis prepared to fight. "That's fine by me," Goku replied, already assuming his fighting stance. "It's been a while since I've had a real challenge." The battle began explosively. Anubis displayed an impressive mastery of destructive techniques, while Goku, in his Ultra Instinct state, elegantly and precisely evaded his attacks. Despite Goku's initial superiority in speed, Anubis soon revealed a unique technique, manipulating the energy around him to create unpredictable attacks that forced Goku to change his strategy. After an intense exchange of blows, Anubis retreated, smiling. "You are everything they say and more, Goku. Not only worthy of Ultra Instinct but also of the prophecy." Goku blinked, confused. "Prophecy? What prophecy?" Mead, who had remained silent until now, explained. "Long ago, before our universe was erased, a prophecy was written. It foretold that a warrior from outside would emerge, mastering abilities that could rival even the angels. This warrior would be the catalyst for the vengeance of the exiled." Whis narrowed his eyes, concerned. "The vengeance of the exiled? What exactly are you referring to?" Anubis crossed his arms, his gaze darkening. "Our universe was erased for challenging the supremacy of the other gods and angels. Now that we are back, it is time to correct that mistake. And Goku might be the key to it." Goku felt a shiver of excitement but also a heavy sense of responsibility. Whis, on the other hand, looked alarmed. "This could mean greater problems than we anticipated, Goku. We must proceed cautiously from here on out." Anubis, however, only smiled. "Destiny is already in motion. This is just the beginning." Universe 17. As silence lingered in Universe 17, Whis decided to break the stillness. He knew that before making any decision about the prophecy or Goku's supposed role as the defender of this universe, there was a more pressing priority: reporting the events to the Grand Priest, his father. With a fluid motion, Whis touched the crystalline staff he always carried, activating his direct communication with the Grand Priest. The image of the Grand Priest formed within the glowing orb of the staff. His expression, as always, was calm and serene, though a glimmer of curiosity shone in his eyes. "Whis, it's rare for you to contact me directly. What has happened?" asked the Grand Priest, his tranquil voice masking the immense power he possessed. Whis offered a respectful bow before responding. "Father, I must share something of utmost importance. During my visit to Universe 17, which was restored after Android 17's wish in the Tournament of Power, we uncovered alarming information. First, there is a prophecy involving Goku as the catalyst for events that could destabilize the entire multiverse. Second, and even more concerning, is the clear intent of other angels and gods of destruction to attack this universe. They appear to be organizing a movement to not only hinder the development of Universe 17 but also prevent the rebirth of other universes erased by Zeno in the past." The Grand Priest's expression hardened slightly, a rare display of concern. "So, what we feared is beginning to materialize. Whis, you should know that these events are not mere speculations. I have observed signs that my other children are conspiring with the gods of destruction to ensure the annihilation of the reborn universes as soon as they emerge." Goku, who had been silently listening, could not contain his shock. "Wait, they want to destroy the universes that are coming back? But why? Isn't it a good thing for those universes to be restored?" he asked, his frustration evident in his tone. The Grand Priest looked at Goku with an expression that blended understanding and seriousness. For many of the gods and angels, the rebirth of these universes represents a threat to the balance they believe to be ideal. With more universes come new challenges, new rivalries, and, above all, a potential increase in the competition for power. They fear losing their privileged positions in the cosmos. Whis added. There's also the belief that by opposing the natural order established by Zeno-sama, they can prevent something similar from happening in the future. However, they're ignoring the fact that Zeno is not omniscient. He is unaware of Universe 17's rebirth and may not notice the return of other universes unless it's brought to his attention. The Grand Priest crossed his arms, reflecting for a moment before continuing. You should know that the other 5 universes have not yet been restored because the process follows the order in which they were erased by Zeno. Each one will take time to fully return. This delay is what's allowing my children and the gods to plan their destruction. Goku's heart raced. He could feel the growing weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Yet, instead of retreating, his determination only intensified. We have to stop this. They can't just destroy these universes because they're afraid or selfish. I'll fight for them, for every single one of them if I have to. Goku declared, clenching his fists. Whis smiled slightly at Goku's resolve. Goku, your courage is admirable, but we must tread carefully. We're not dealing with just powerful warriors, but with gods and angels whose powers and influences extend far beyond brute strength. The Grand Priest intervened again. Whis is right. This is not a conflict that can be resolved through battles alone. We will need strategy, alliances, and, above all, discretion. We cannot allow Zeno-sama to discover any of this before we have a concrete solution. If he does, he might decide to erase all the universes again, including those that already exist. Goku nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. His passion for challenges remained undiminished, but he realized this was no simple tournament or fight for survival. This was a game of intrigue, politics, and powers that went beyond anything he had faced before. The Grand Priest concluded. Whis, keep me informed of any developments. And Goku, you must prepare yourself. The future will bring challenges that will test more than just your strength. You will need wisdom, patience, and allies. With that, the connection ended. Whis and Goku stood in silence for a moment, absorbing the Grand Priest's words. The next steps would be crucial. And as Universe 17 continued to grow stronger, the fate of the other universes and the balance of the multiverse hung in the balance. Goku began to recall everything he had gone through to reach this point. As silence filled the air, Goku took a deep breath, clenching his fists as a determined expression appeared on his face. He stepped forward, facing Meade and Anubis with a conviction only he could display in such a moment of tension. It doesn't matter whether this prophecy is real or not, he said, his firm voice echoing through the hall. If there's one thing I've learned from all the battles I've fought, it's that we don't need predictions to decide our own destiny. If I'm the catalyst to stop this madness, then I accept that responsibility. Whis raised an eyebrow, crossing his arms with a sigh of concern. Goku, you have no idea what you're saying. Convincing the gods of destruction and their respective angels to abandon their plans is a monumental task. Many of them won't even listen to you. That doesn't matter, Goku replied, his determination unwavering. I'll do it my way. I've always managed to overcome challenges when it seemed impossible. This time won't be any different. They need to understand that destroying these universes is a mistake. Anubis, who had remained silent until then, stepped forward. His usually imposing and threatening posture softened as he placed a hand on Goku's shoulder. I believe in you, Saiyan, Anubis said, his deep voice laden with sincerity. We of Universe 17 understand better than anyone else what it means to be wronged. But if you say you can resolve this without violence, I'm willing to trust your word. We won't fight our brothers, even if they come to destroy us. Meade nodded beside Anubis, a serene glimmer in his eyes. I stand with Anubis on this. I won't bear the guilt of harming or destroying those who were once our family. If you believe you can convince the gods, Goku, you have my support. Whis observed the scene with a pensive expression, realizing that nothing he said would change Goku's resolve. He raised his staff, opening a direct channel to the Grand Priest. the image of the Grand Priest appeared before them, his calm expression carrying an air of urgency. "Father, I have important information to share," Whis said, quickly explaining the recent events in Universe 17, including Goku's decision to face the gods of destruction. The Grand Priest listened attentively, his expression remaining composed as Whis relayed everything. When Whis finished, the Grand Priest closed his eyes for a moment before speaking. "Whis, even if the prophecy is merely a myth, what you've discovered confirms our worst fears. The gods of destruction are indeed organizing to attack. However, their target is not Earth but Universe 17. Goku clenched his fists but remained silent as the Grand Priest continued. "I have learned through Vados that she managed to convince the angels not to get involved in this conflict. However, the gods of destruction are determined to proceed with their plan. Their goal is to prevent the rebirth of the other universes that are yet to come. As you know, the order in which they were erased has caused their returns to occur at different times. The next universes are about to be reborn, and they intend to destroy them as soon as that happens." Before Whis could respond, Goku stepped forward, interrupting the conversation. "Grand Priest, let them come," Goku said, with a confidence that bordered on defiance. "If the gods want to fight, let them come to Universe 17. I'll be waiting for all of them." Whis widened his eyes, but before he could protest, the Grand Priest raised a hand to silence him. "Are you certain about this, Goku? We're talking about all the gods of destruction, together. Even with your power, this is a battle you might not win." Goku smiled, the kind of smile he always wore before facing impossible challenges. "I know that," he said, his voice steady and full of resolve. "But I'm not planning to fight them. I'll show each one of them that what they're doing is madness. Even if I have to face them, I'll convince them there's a better way." Anubis stepped forward, positioning himself beside Goku. "If that's how you wish to resolve this, Goku, we will stand by your side. But remember, we will not raise our hands against our brothers, no matter what happens." The Grand Priest studied the determination in Goku's and Anubis's eyes before giving a slight nod. "Very well. I will make the necessary arrangements to ensure the gods know where you will be. Whis, remain in Universe 17 and closely monitor the situation. Goku, good luck. I hope your conviction is enough to change their hearts." With that, the communication ended. Whis turned to Goku, still visibly concerned. "You really intend to face all of them alone, don't you?" Whis asked. Goku smiled, placing his hands on his hips. "I don't know what's going to happen, but I have to try. I've fought enemies that seemed impossible to defeat before. This isn't any different." Meat approached, his calm gaze filled with respect for Goku. "You're a peculiar warrior, Goku. Few would choose the path you've taken. But I can see your determination is genuine. Perhaps that's what will make the difference." With the decision made, Goku mentally prepared himself for what lay ahead. On the horizon, the gods of destruction were gathering, ready to invade Universe 17. The tension in the air was palpable, but Goku remained steadfast. "Let them come," he murmured to himself, a confident smile lighting up his face. "I'm ready." The night finally came, but Goku couldn't sleep. His focus was on the next day, which arrived as swiftly as a lightning strike. At dawn, Goku sensed an overwhelming amount of power approaching. It was the gods of destruction. Even those who had supported maintaining the status quo were present. In the vast skies of Universe 17, the gods of destruction appeared, their overwhelming presence sending waves of energy across the dimension. Goku stood at the center of an open field, his expression fierce, contrasting with his usual calm demeanor. The silence was broken only by the sound of the wind as the gods drew near. Beerus, standing beside Whis, Mead, and Anubis, stepped forward, glaring at his brother Champa and the other Hakations. "Champa!" Beerus roared. "You're making a colossal mistake. Turn back now before it's too late." Champa crossed his arms, his gaze fixed on Beerus. "You've always been weak, Beerus. Always hesitant. We have no choice. We must act to preserve the balance. This universe shouldn't exist." Before Beerus could respond, Goku raised his hand, his firm voice cutting through the atmosphere. "Beerus, no. This is between me and them. You promised not to interfere." The Hakation hesitated but stepped back, watching with a mix of respect and concern. Meade placed a hand on Beerus's shoulder, while Anubis murmured something, his eyes fixed on Goku. Goku stepped forward, standing face to face with the gods of destruction. His voice carried an intensity that seemed to resonate not just in their bodies but in their very souls. Do you really think this is the right thing to do? Destroying entire universes, erasing lives that have just been reborn, is this your path? The gods remained silent, but Champa scoffed. It's not our duty to protect those lives, Goku. Zeno decided what would live and what would be erased. Take it up with him, not us. Goku shook his head, his expression resolute. If that happened in the past, let it stay in the past. Things have changed now. These lives didn't ask to return, but they're here. Who are we to decide they don't deserve a second chance? He pointed at the gods, his voice growing stronger with each word. This isn't just cowardice towards your erased brothers, but also towards the ordinary people living on these planets. People who just want to live in peace. The power you have, it should be used to protect, not destroy. Champa scowled, irritated. You don't understand, Goku. Our existence is based on balance. If something is out of place, we must correct it. That's part of our duty as gods of destruction. Goku stepped closer, his eyes glowing with unyielding determination. And I won't let you do it. The gods exchanged glances, uncertainty flickering in their eyes. Then, one by one, they began to release their destructive energies, preparing to attack. At that moment, Whis, Meade, Beerus, and Anubis stepped forward, their presences rivaling those of the other gods. If you attack Goku, declared Beerus, we will stand with him. Meade added, his voice gentle but resolute. This is no longer about who is right or wrong. And then the extraordinary happened. Goku closed his eyes, letting his energy flow freely. A silver and gold aura began to envelop him, shining like the sun itself. In an instant, his body entered Ultra Instinct. But this time, something was different. Behind him, enormous translucent wings began to form, like those of an angel, radiating energy that seemed to transcend time and space. The gods of destruction instinctively stepped back, stunned by the sight before them. Goku's radiant wings glowed intensely, their brilliance illuminating the vast skies of Universe 17. The sheer magnitude of his unleashed power caused his clothes to deteriorate, disintegrating into fragments of energy. His voice, now deeper and resonant, echoed like thunder throughout the dimension. I don't want to fight you. But if it's necessary to protect this universe and the others yet to be reborn, I will do whatever it takes. The gods of destruction stood speechless, their expressions betraying their disbelief. Champa stepped forward, pointing at Goku with a trembling hand. This can't be. He looks like... Anubis, who had remained silent until now, whispered in near reverence. The wings of the prophecy. The defender. He truly exists. Goku raised his hand, his face serious but calm. I understand the weight of your responsibilities as gods of destruction. But attacking newly born universes is not justice. If Zeno-sama made mistakes in the past, I will go to him myself and try to understand. Until then, I won't let you commit such cowardice. He paused, meeting the gaze of each god present. If you ever need me, I will be here to help. But never again use your power to destroy allies, friends, or those weaker than you. Goku's words resonated deeply. Even the proudest among the gods couldn't deny the sincerity and strength of his presence. Champa clenched his fists, his frustration clear. This doesn't change the fact that balance must be maintained. But the other gods hesitated. The impact of Goku's words, combined with the vision of his angelic power, was undeniable. They exchanged uncertain glances, questioning whether to proceed with their plan. At that moment, Beerus stepped forward. "Champa, you know Goku was right. If you continue with this, you'll be betraying everything you swore to protect." Whis, who had been silently observing, used his staff to project an image of the Grand Priest, who had been watching from afar. "Father, are you seeing this?" Whis asked. The Grand Priest nodded slowly, his eyes shimmering with rare emotion. "I see it all, Whis. And now I understand. Finally, the being who will bring peace to the multiverse has emerged." With the Grand Priest's words and Goku's imposing presence, the gods began to retreat. One by one, they extinguished their destructive energies, leaving only Champa, still reluctant. "This isn't over, Goku. You may have convinced us today, but Zeno-sama." Goku interrupted, his voice calm but resolute. "Zeno-sama is my friend. I'll speak with him when the time is right. But today, this ends here." Champa exhaled heavily, shaking his head. "You've won this time." The gods began to vanish, returning to their respective universes. As the last one departed, Goku finally allowed his energy to dissipate. His wings faded into nothingness, and he collapsed to his knees, exhausted but victorious. Mead and Anubis approached, their gazes filled with admiration. "You've done something none of us could, Goku," said Mead. "You didn't just defeat the gods, you made them reflect." Anubis nodded, his words slow and thoughtful. The prophecy spoke of a being with wings who would unite the multiverse. Today, we witnessed the beginning of that. Whis smiled faintly as Beerus crossed his arms, doing his best to mask his pride. "You really are a surprising guy, Goku," Beerus said. "But I still want a rematch someday." Everyone laughed, the weight of the confrontation beginning to lift. From afar, through Whis' staff, the Grand Priest continued to observe, his expression serene. He is unlike any mortal before him. Perhaps, at long last, the multiverse will find the peace it has always sought. And so, in the vast fields of Universe 17, Goku looked to the sky, knowing his journey was far from over, yet feeling he had taken the first step toward a brighter future for all universes.